Xabi Alonso, Antoine Griezmann, current Barca warrior Inigo Martinez, and even the most sought-after midfielder in the world, Martin Zubimendi. All of them have made their first steps in professional football in the Real Sociedad Academy called La Zubieta. And when you add in the other top players who have generated hundreds of millions for Real Sociedad in recent years, well, we can fully confirm that Zubieta is arguably the most influential academy in Spain after La Masia, and one of the best in Europe. But how do they do it? How have they become so successful, overtaking even Real Madrid and local rivals Athletic Club in that regard? First, let's start with their current condition. Yes, it may seem strange that Real Sociedad's academy is currently ahead of Real Madrid's, but it's an absolute fact. Of course, when it comes to revenue and global recognition, Real Madrid are still one of the best in the world, with President Florentino Perez recently stating that Madrid's La Fabrica is still the best in the world in terms of productivity. According to him, there are currently 191 Real Madrid players in the professional leagues, 51 in the first division, 56 in the second, and 84 in international leagues. However, Real Sociedad currently have at least 10 first-team graduates in their squad. If we take their victory over Barcelona a few weeks ago in the battle between Spain's two most influential academies, La Real fielded 6 academy graduates throughout the game, while Barca had 8 youngsters from La Masia. If we add Inigo Martinez, who played for Barcelona on the night, then realistically it was almost an even split between La Zubieta and La Masia, 7 versus 8. Oh, and let's not forget that their coach, the local legend Imanol Alguacil, is also Basque. By comparison, Real Madrid have only 4 La Fabrica graduates in their first team, the injured Dani Carvajal and his teammates at the back Lucas Vazquez, Jesus Vallejo and Fran Garcia. Yes, you'll hear many Madrid fans mention names like Fede Valverde, Vini Jr. or Rodrigo as being local graduates, but that's not exactly the case, as they were all brought in from South America well beyond their youth years and then began their development at Real Madrid. As a result, Real Sociedad can definitely be defined as one of the best places to develop young, dream-chasing talent. The history of La Zubieta Academy begins in 1982 when the club decided to formalise its youth academy in response to the Athletic Club's famous Les Sama. Based on the outskirts of San Sebastian, Zubieta's aim was to develop homegrown talent, but his approach was broader and more innovative than that of his Basque rivals. While Les Sama focused exclusively on players of Basque descent, which is like the golden rule for Athletic Club, Real Sociedad eventually opted to broaden their scouting slightly, allowing for a more international philosophy while retaining their Basque identity. La Zubieta was like an improved version of Les Sama, but with the basic principles still in place. In general, this applies to the philosophy of the people in the region of Spain. The hardcore Basques are rough and tough, while those from Donostia or San Sebastian are more innovative and forward-thinking. So yeah, from the outset, Zubieta mirrored Atletico Bilbao's commitment to grassroots development, ensuring a strong link between the youth teams and the senior squad. But Sociedad's more modern strategy, with its emphasis on technical, tactical and psychological development, quickly began to overshadow their neighbours. By blending Basque tradition with forward-thinking methods, Zubieta created players who could thrive not just in Spain, but across Europe. Take Xabi Alonso and Antoine Griezmann for example. If we hypothetically imagine that they had developed their talents at Athletic Club rather than Real Sociedad, we might have never recognised them as global stars. Winners of European Championships and World Cups, Champions Leagues, and overall among the best footballers of their respected generations. That's because Athletic Club is more traditional and conservative in its foundations, and they teach their graduates to think about the future of the club, not their individual development. Perhaps the most recent example of this is Nico Williams. The Athletic Club graduate was one of Spain's heroes at the Euros, even scoring in the final against England. His name has since been linked with a number of European giants, including Barcelona. Speculation about a deal between the two parties had reached a turning point, when it suddenly became clear that Williams preferred to stay in the Basque country because, reportedly, he owed everything to the club that made him who he is. In addition, this was Athletic Club's first season in Europe for a long time, as they qualified for the Europa League, and Williams simply wanted the experience of playing top-flight football with his brother Iñaki. So yeah, you get the point. If you were born in the Basque country and started your development at the Les Sama Academy, you could be almost certain that you would play good 80 to 90% of your career there. Of course, There are some exceptions, such as Aymeric Laporte, but the situation with him is a little different. He's not originally from the Basque country, but was actually born in eastern France and was invited to play for Athletic at the age of 15 by their scouts. Anyway, let's get back to the main story. But first, don't forget to subscribe to the Blue Card channel. If you still don't trust us, stay until the end and we'll give you some confidence. Have you ever asked yourself, when was the last time Real Sociedad won the La Liga title? Well, interestingly enough, they've done it twice in successive seasons, and guess when that was? In 1981 and 1982, the very year La Zubieta was founded. You can also rest assured that the backbone of the team was largely made up of local talent. Interestingly, this period in the early 1980s was extremely successful for the Basque region, as Athletic won the title in the next 2 years, 1983 and 1984. Yes, their academy was successful in the 20th century, but it was not until the early 2000s when La Zubieta began to gain worldwide recognition. The success stories began with the aforementioned Xabi Alonso, one of the academy's crown jewels. After breaking into Sociedad's first team, he led them to a remarkable second place finish in La Liga in 2002-03, an astonishing achievement given the prowess of Real Madrid's Galacticos and Barcelona's superstars Xavi, Carlos Puyol, Victor Valdez, and a host of other familiar names. Then, as expected, his €16 million move to Liverpool in 2004 launched a glittering career that included Champions League triumphs and a World Cup and Euros title with Spain. Another headline-grabbing graduate, Antoine Griezmann, wasn't Basque, but, like Athletic's Laporte, was discovered by Sociedad as a teenager. After 6 outstanding seasons in the first team, in which he caught the eye with his 52 goals, he was sold to Athletic Madrid in 2014 for €30 million. Well, Griezmann has since gone on to win a World Cup, play in the Champions League final, and come within inches of winning the Ballon d'Or in 2018. Yes, many are still debating whether Modric deserved it back then, but that's a story for another video. After Griezmann's era at La Zubieta, there are 2 other names that have hit the headlines. Barca's Inigo Martinez and Alvaro Odriozola, who is currently back again at home in Sociedad after periods in Real Madrid and Bayern Munich. The former was sold to arch rivals Athletic Club, while Odriozola, one of Spain's best fullbacks at the time, fulfilled his dream by signing for Real Madrid. Both left Sociedad in 2018 for a fee of around €30 million. Under the astute management of Roberto Alabe, Zubieta went on to enjoy a golden financial era. Alexander Isak, while not a pure graduate, was a perfect example of Sociedad's development-first mentality. Bought as a raw talent from Sweden, Isak's game matured at Anoeta, leading to his €70 million sale to Newcastle in 2022. Martin Ødegaard, another loanee who flourished at Sociedad, elevated the team's play and showed how Zubieta can mould rising stars into world-class professionals. The Norwegian took his game to the next level after suffering at Real Madrid. His reputation soared, especially after winning the Copa del Rey in 2020, and Arsenal came knocking, first taking him on loan and then paying around €30 million for him. Another player who left Sociedad for Arsenal was the Gunners' latest signing, defensive midfielder Mikel Merino, who was already proving his quality at the Emirates, even scoring in the big game against Liverpool. Well, he is another player who has put a solid €32 million into Real Sociedad's account. And last but not least, arguably Zubieta's hottest talent at the moment, Martin Zubimendi. Unlike most of the aforementioned players who were looking for a move as soon as they were noticed, Zubimendi is built differently. He has had the chance to move on several occasions in recent seasons. There was Barcelona, Xavi Hernandez and his lucid dreams of having Zubimendi and Frankie de Jong as deep-lying playmaker duos. The talks ended in 2023, but that was not all. The following summer, Arsenal and Liverpool also tried their luck, but Zubimendi's love for Zubieta was immense and he still refused to move to the big football. If he does indeed resist and remains at Sociedad for the rest of his career, it will surely be one of the most beautiful stories in this dynamic age of football we're living in. So, the logic would suggest that Zubimendi is likely to make the move to England in the coming months or years. Man City look like a realistic option at the moment, given their struggles with Rodri, so a move in the winter wouldn't be surprising. So, we leave the rest to you. Do you think La Zubieta can compete with La Masia? Or why not some of the other top academies abroad, such as Benfica or Ajax, who are also regarded as the best in the world? Let us know in the comments below. Also, if you're still watching, It looks like you love that one. Don't hesitate to hit the like and subscribe buttons for more overlooked stories from the world of football. This was Blue Card, and I'll catch you in the next one.